Hey, 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 have a collection reporting on your credit report that's past the statute of limitations? Wondering when it'll be deleted? Our prosperity partner, Rebecca, is, and she would like me to make sense of some things and more inside of this episode of Credit Makes Sense. Stay tuned. Hey, 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 welcome to another episode of Credit Makes Sense with me, the tip of the frugal creditista, as I answer your questions about money, credit, and everything in between. I am super excited to be here with you today as we help our prosperity partner, Rebecca, make sense of why the collections that are on her report and well past the statute of limitations have not been deleted yet. So if you love what I am laying down and you are a new prosperity partner here, definitely click on that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop another Credit Makes Sense video again. I also left a link for you to submit your own financial questions for me to answer in one of the upcoming episodes. Let's get into it. So Rebecca wants to know, why have these collections not been removed, even though they are past her state statute of limitations? So before I go into that, let's define what the statute of limitations are. The statute of limitations are state-based, and they dictate how long a creditor can enforce or force you to pay for a debt using the court system. So AKA suing you to enforce payment of the debt. So once they win, they can get a wage garnishment. They can put a lien on property and all of that good stuff. They can levy bank accounts. And so the statute of limitations will dictate how long a creditor has to go through the court system and force payment, and then hopefully win on one of those actions that I just mentioned against you, right? Suing you, wage garnishment, levying your bank account, putting a lien on an asset. Okay, so that's what the statute of limitations are. And because they are state-based, the amount of time that a creditor has to do this will vary. Some states, such as North Carolina, is 3 years. Other states, such as Illinois, are 5 years. And then it's also going to depend on what type of debt. Some states, straight across the board, is going to be 3 years. Doesn't matter if it's a credit card, which is like a revolving debt. Doesn't matter if it is a written debt like a foreclosure. Other states, since I use Illinois, I'll continue to use that. It'll be 5 years for something like a credit card, 10 years for something like a mortgage. And that's how long the company or creditor, collection agency in this case, will have to be able to sue you in order to force you or force payment of the debt. Okay, so that's a statute of limitations. Now let's go into credit reporting. Credit reporting is based off of federal laws, particularly the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And this dictates everything surrounding credit reporting for us consumers. And so the Fair Credit Reporting Act will dictate federal reporting limitations. And notice, statute of limitations, state-based, completely deals with the amount of time that a creditor or a collection agency has time to collect by using the court systems. Federal Fair Debt Collection Act dictates the federal reporting limitations, or how long an item can report on your credit report. So those are two completely different things. So Rebecca, your collections can be past your state statute of limitations. Let's say in your case, it's 4 years. Actually, yours is 4 years. So 4 years, your collections have hit the 4-year mark. They can no longer enforce payment through the court system. They have to tell you in any communication that they cannot sue you and pursue any legal matters in order to get you to pay for this debt. But they can still call, they can still mail. That is well within the guidelines that are within the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which actually got updated. I'll link some videos below that I did on the updates that happened. So as long as they work within those guidelines, those parameters, they can continue to communicate with you about the debt that's past the statute of limitations. Now, when it comes to credit reporting, they are not looking at the statute or state-based laws in reference to these limitations on the debt. Okay, they are looking at the reporting limitation guidelines found in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So this means that a collection can be past the 4-year mark, in your case, which is 4 years, but they still have 7 years, the full 7 years, so 3 more years to report on your credit report. So just to put this in layman's terms, your 4-year mark has been hit with the statute of limitations. You can't be sued. You don't have to worry about somebody taking you to court for to levy your wages or levy your bank account rather, or wage garnishment or putting a lien on you. All that is gone, but it will still remain on your credit report until the 7-year federal reporting limitation has been up. So how long or how do you count that 7 years for the federal reporting limitation? Well, it is based off of the date of first delinquency. Date of first delinquency. A lot of people get this wrong and say it's based on the date of last payment or it's based on the date of last activity, but it's not. This is why we make sense of some things, right? It's based off the date of first delinquency. And this is the date that you were first delinquent or past due and you never brought the account current again. So let me break this down some more. And I might do another video strictly on just statute limitations and the date of first delinquency. So if you want that, definitely put it in the comments below and I can answer that in another upcoming Credit Makes Sense video. But essentially, you're going to have the open date on this account that has nothing to do with how long it stays on your report. You're going to have the last payment date. You're going to have date of last activity date that it was last updated, all of that good stuff. The date of first delinquency, you have to look at that payment history that's in that little commentary. It may even be colors like green, yellow, red. It will be the date that you first became past due and you never brought the account current. So you could have still been making account payments on it. But if it wasn't brought to zero or at least brought to the point where your past due balance is zero, then that means that it was never brought current again. Let's break it down some more. You have a $1,000 credit card limit. You spent $900. You fell behind payments for 3 months, and let's say that you were $150 behind. You paid $50, you're $100 behind. You paid $10, you're $90 behind. And you keep making these small payments until you eventually stop. What is the first date of delinquency? It is the date that you first became delinquent. So that very first month. So it doesn't matter if you paid $50. It doesn't matter if you paid $10. It doesn't matter if you paid $20. As long as a past due amount continuously reported, then you never brought that account current again. So you start paying or counting 7 years from the first time that you became past due and never brought the account current to where that past due balance is zero. So hopefully I made sense of this for you, Rebecca. Essentially, this means you do have 3 more years for it to report. No, you do not have to pay it since it is so old. And if you've taken any of my credit classes and you already know that the credit reporting credit scoring algorithm is really placed, more emphasis is placed on accounts within the first 0 to 24 months. So this is 4 years old. So I would suggest instead of worrying about every single negative on your account, focus on the high priority stuff first. This is going to be, how is your utilization? How is your payment history on your open accounts? How is your payment history within a past 0 to 12 months, 12 months to 24 months? Make that information as pristine as absolutely possible. For those of you who are OG Prosperity Partners and you've taken any of my challenges or classes dealing with credit and money and budgeting and know my story, then you know that within 18 months after filing for bankruptcy, I was able to get back into the 700 club. I still had the bankruptcy on my credit report. I still had the debts, most of the debts that were discharged from my credit report, from my bankruptcy rather, on my credit report. And I was still able to get to the 700 club solely by focusing those past 18 months on building and maintaining proper credit habits, super low utilization, not adding on a whole bunch of stuff at once, which can happen at the bankruptcy because they just be throwing stuff at you, and then paying on time every time. And so just by following those 3 things, I was able to come out of it. So is it that simple? No, it was hard. I had to change some habits. So I can't say it was so easy for me, but my point is that it can definitely happen for you, even a shorter period of time. You sent me over a snapshot of a summary of your report. You don't even have a public record on your reports. All of your stuff that's negative is relatively old. I would just focus on building because you do not have enough history and do not have enough accounts reporting on your credit profile. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions or want me to elaborate on anything in a separate video or even an upcoming blog, definitely let me know. I also left a link for you to submit any questions for an upcoming video, and I will see you in the next episode of Credit Makes Sense. See you then.